Welcome back. It's JWalter here, and here's a big housing market update. Redfin actually posted yesterday that the number of new listings has climbed sharply. On top of this, the share of price reductions has hit a 2.5-year high as home buying demand is declining. So in today's video, I'm going to share all the latest details with you guys. So I hope you guys get a lot of value out of today's video. And of course, if you do, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's begin today's video. This was just published on the 19th of May. It says new listings climbed sharply as the share of listings with price reductions, in other words, the home seller reduced their asking price in order to attract a home buyer, that increased to a 2.5-year high as early stage home buying demand has declining. Redfin says home buyers may finally start to notice signs that the housing market is shifting towards their favor. As you guys all know, we have a strong seller's market, but it's starting to change though. More sellers came to the market during the 4 weeks ending May 15th, so we saw more new listings hit the market. I'm going to be sharing some data regarding that here in just a little bit. But the number of new listings climbed nearly twice as fast as they did this time last year. So we have twice as many new listings hitting the market compared to 1 year ago, which is obviously a positive sign if we want this housing market to cool off, which frankly is needed. Also, they say here home buyers continue to pull back in the wake of record high purchasing costs, of course, obviously due to record high home prices and of course, rising mortgage rates. Mortgage purchase applications fell to their lowest level since May of 2020, as they've been reporting to you guys according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, or the MBA. Also, the number of home buyers touring houses for sale and basically placing offers on houses, as measured by the Redfin Home Buying Demand Index, posted its largest annual decline since April 2020. However, desirable houses that are priced right are still being sold at record pace, median days on the market at 15 days. And according to Redfin chief economist Daryl Fairweather, she had this to say: rising mortgage rates have caused the housing market to shift, and now home sellers are in a hurry to find a buyer before demand weakens further. This sudden pressure on sellers is good news for those home buyers who still can afford to buy a house given today's higher mortgage rates. And these trends point to an even cooler housing market this summer. So here's some leading indicators of home buying demand or decreasing home buying demand. Fewer people search for houses for sale on Google. So for the week ending May 14th, searches for homes for sale were down 11% from 1 year ago. So when you actually click on that link though, it takes you to here. This is on Google Trends website, and this is for the search term homes for sale. What they should be looking at is US searches though, because we really don't care what people are searching for homes for sale if they live in Germany, for example. We're talking about the US housing market. So if you're a Redfin agent, I'll let you guys know that this should be changed to United States here. So when you do that, this is for people in the United States who are searching for homes for sale. And this is interest over time. So for the week ending May 14th, which is what they mentioned in the report here, the number of search results is actually down 14 percentage points from the record highs we saw in April 2021. On top of this, the seasonally adjusted Redfin Home Buying Demand Index, which is a measure of requests of home tours and other home buying services from Redfin agents, was actually down 8% year over year during the week ending May 15th. I actually think it's really cool that they mentioned this index though, because any other brokerage like Coldwell Banker, Lion Real Estate, Remax, Realty One Group, for example, is not going to have this data because I work as an independent contractor more or less for Realty One Group, and I don't report the number of buyer requests for home tours to my broker. However, Redfin does track that, so it's very interesting to see some insight regarding interest of home tours from Redfin agents. In any case, they're down 8% from 1 year ago. This is also the largest decline since April 2020, when the pandemic paused most home buying activity. Really interesting to see that because right now, down 8% year over year, the largest decline since April 2020, when basically our housing market was on pause. So that's really telling how big the drop right now of 8% really is. On top of this, touring activity of real estate agents in general showing houses to their home buyers from the first week of January through May 15th was 25 percentage points behind the same time period in 2021. When you actually look at the most recent stats though, it's actually worse than that. It's not 25 percentage points, it's actually 30 percentage points. So have a look at this. This is what Redfin was looking at for the week ending May 15th, down 25 percentage points in 2022 compared to 2021. However, the most recent stats we have is actually through May 19th, which is yesterday at the time of this video. So as you can see there, in 2021, we had an increase by 40% in the number of home showings in North America by all real estate agents using showing time compared to the first week of 2021. However, right now, compared to the first week of 2022, we're only up 10.9%. In other words, about 30 percentage points less compared to this time in 2021. On top of this, the number of mortgage purchase applications, in other words, home buyers submitting loan applications in order to buy houses, was down 15% compared to 1 year ago. And this is, of course, according to the most recent stats that we have from the MBA. On top of this, for the week ending May 19th, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage actually decreased slightly to 5.25%. So this is according to Freddie Mac. They actually just released this on the 19th. They're saying that the average is at 5.25%. It actually has been decreasing over the past 3 weeks. According to Freddie Mac's chief economist, he had this to say: economic uncertainty is causing mortgage rate volatility. As a result, purchase demand is waning and home buyer sentiment has dropped to the lowest level in nearly 2 years. So right now, the average 30-year fix is at 5.25%. 1 year ago at this time, the rate was averaging at 3%. Also, according to the Mortgage News Daily, mortgage rates have fallen to 3-week lows. So have a look at this. These are mortgage rates for May. We started the month averaging at 5.55%. It had increased to 5.64% on May 6th. That was basically the highs we have not seen since approximately 2008. But as you can see here, mortgage rates have been decreasing. So right now we're at 5.36% on average in the US. Also, going back to support from Redfin, as I mentioned, the share of price reductions has been increasing. So on average, 4.4% of houses each week had a price reduction. Overall, 17.8% dropped their price in the past 4 weeks. That's actually up from 12.1% from 1 month ago and 9.5% from 1 year ago. So from 1 year ago, we went from 9.5% to almost 18%. This is now the highest share since October of 2019. And you can see that here because for the week ending May 15th, 4.4% of all the houses getting listed for sale have price reductions. As you can see here too, ever since really in March, the share of price reductions has been increasing greatly. We basically started the year at 2%. Now we're basically double that share. Still a low percentage-wise, but this number has basically been going straight up. Also, compared to 2020, we had approximately 3% of price reductions at this time. And then in 2021, it was approximately 2.25%. This is a very important metric to track because if we start seeing more and more price reductions, this would assume that home buying demand is decreasing because sellers have to reduce their asking price in order to attract a home buyer. And here's a really good graphic to show the share of price reductions since 2015. This is a new graphic. I don't think I've seen this before on their website, which is really good to see how now compares to historical trends over the past 7 years. So right now, the share of price reductions is the highest since 2019. At 4.4%, it's higher than any time in 2020 or 2021, but on par with 2019 and also with 2018 as well. This is pretty interesting as well because in 2018, I remember how the housing market really felt like it was cooling off. And this is because mortgage rates increased 1 percentage point in 2018. And therefore, demand decreased, and this caused the share of price reductions to increase as well. So even though the share is pretty low, it is still higher compared to 2017, 16, and 2015 as well. And before we wrap this video up, I also want to show you Redfin's Home Buying Demand Index. Again, this is a measure of home tours or requests of home tours from Redfin agents here. So it has decreased by 8% compared to 1 year ago. This is the biggest decrease since April of 2020. So as you can see here, this is 2020 in red here. 2021 is this blue line, and 2020 is this gray line where we had COVID lockdowns around March, and that's why the index decreased greatly in March and April. However, look at this year compared to 2021 and how it has changed greatly. So we started the year off at levels above 2021 for basically the first 3 months of 2022. So we saw levels here where we had an increased number of people submitting requests for home tours from Redfin agents compared to 2021. But that has changed really ever since April. And by the way, April was really the time we saw mortgage rates increase to approximately 5%, and they continued to increase through May. So as you can see here, the demand index started to fall sharply then. So right now we're at levels below 2021, whereas the first 3 months of 2022, we were higher than 2021. So comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. My biggest takeaway was this big drop in their demand index, which really tells me that they're starting to see a decrease in home buying demand. And also we're seeing that across home tours, mortgage application numbers, a lot of early indicators that's really telling me that home buying demand is decreasing. So that's my biggest takeaway, but what's yours? Please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.